Not. Hi, hello. Excuse me, I pressed wrongly. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sunflowers Radio. We're now on episode 13, and I guess this one is a bit special since we are now in Istanbul in the context of the Operator Scattering Seeds Widely program. This is the part of our Operator program in which we connect with scenes internationally. And yeah, it's a pleasure to be right now in Istanbul. I would like to give warm thanks to Frankhan, who is hosting us, as well as the Dutch Embassy of Turkey, who is supporting us in this project. We are now doing the radio program broadcast day after we kicked off yesterday with a live set moment, and we're continuing tomorrow as well. So stay tuned or listen back.
And the song that you just heard was called I'm Forgetting What Is To Be, and it's from an artist called Elif Gül'ün Soğuksu. She's originally from Istanbul, but now she's based in Berlin, and she also studied in The Hague in sonology, so she has the connection to the Netherlands as well. And today on the program we have two exciting guests. The first one is Laura Deniz. She is also an Istanbul-born but Amsterdam-based musician, producer, and composer who released an album, Sunshine, last year, 2025. And we also have Ece Özel, who is an Istanbul-based DJ who also runs a record label and hosts club nights in Istanbul. So yeah, we're super excited, and we'll see what's in store.
Thanks for everyone for being with us, and also to listeners, and also if you're listening back, I hope that you are enjoying it. What you just heard was then Glazinier by Laura Deniz, who just joined us now behind the booth at our setup at Frankhan Selectist for the Scattering Seeds Widely program. Yesterday we were very lucky to also witness your live set, and I think that was quite a beautiful moment. I felt really emotionally just rised up, and I also really like that you were sharing a lot of, I don't know, just personal thoughts and how all of this came to be. And yeah, there were also a lot of fragments from then the album that you released last year.
So we kind of wanted to ask about how you approach live sets, because I think they can go many different ways. And yesterday you kind of mentioned that it was a sample-based live performance. Is this something that you usually work with samples, or is there other ways that you go about it? And more so generally, how you basically go about the process of creating a live set? Because I know it's important in your practice?
Thanks for the question. I was thinking about what could be provided by the venue, because usually when I make music, I use the keyboard, and when I play the live set, I like to have the keyboard because piano is my main instrument, but that wasn't going to be provided, so I thought, okay, so I'll be limited by one synth, but then there's a lot of things I need to play if I'm not playing the piano as the background, like from the tracks. And then I thought, okay, instead of like having a full backing track, I could just like have one soundscape from like as a backing track, and then add the samples like from my computer on it, and then just play synths and do vocals, either like saying something, spoken words, or singing. So basically, like how I decided is the rider that can be provided, the venue. Also, like if we were gonna do this show first at Arcoda, then I completely planned a different thing, like the 2 covers, because I thought that's going to be more like a living room style concert, so we could all sing together. But then when it moved here, I thought like that's not going to be the vibe here. So then I thought like it's going to be quite isolated, so I should just do my thing. And then, yeah, so basically usually I think of the venue, but this is not a good thing, because then you constantly need to change the live set based on the venue, and that's a lot of
I guess, yeah, it's like part of it always, the adaptation, and it can be like maybe a bit surprising, maybe that like, especially the last song that you sang, like with this whole, it felt very whole in this room as well, and I thought that was, very beautiful, and it really did effect, so.
I appreciate it.
You're also saying that, piano is your original practice. We were wondering then how this whole evolution came about, how you ended up now making the music that you're making compared to, how you started as a musician and composer.
It started with the piano, but I don't know. I think in any art form, whatever you're doing, like as a human being, you're just evolving, so your work evolves hopefully as well in one way or another. And I don't know, just like the trends within me changes, so then I change as well. And it's not that I'm limited to do one thing, gladly. So it's, like it's doing both or all, like whatever you want to do. It's, for me, the reason I'm doing this is because I can express myself gladly with my musical skills and practice. So it started with the piano, but now it's like all the tools I have, all the new music that I'm exposed to. It's just, I don't know, it's changing, and I find that as a very beautiful thing. Like it's just like a little reflection of whatever you've been exposed to in life, and that goes through you, and you just create something, hopefully.
Yeah, I think maybe sometimes people have this idea that an artist stays consistent and constant, and everyone is constantly evolving, so why not your art form as well?
Yeah.
And I think you mentioned that you are now kind of delving into ambient more, and also with your new release, of course, it does take a more ambient turn. I was wondering if there was something that drew you to ambient at all, or if you started out thinking, oh, I'm going to make an ambient album. And I know there's some parts that are also not necessarily could be classified as ambient, but overall I think the album does have a ambient feel. At least that's what I got from it.
Yeah, also like one thing you said, like I think consistency is also very nice. If you're just like making only ambient music, that's also super fine as just constantly changing, being consistent in changing yourself, or like practice, whichever works for the person. I think that's great. But when I make music, I don't think like, I'm gonna make some ambient music now. It's more like, I'm gonna make music today and whatever comes out. And so far, what I did was like the past 5 years mainly categorized as ambient music, but like the stuff that I'm gonna release the coming 2 years are mainly, I would say, more on the like down-tempo, trip-hop, techno side. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. I don't describe what I do, but just the labels or the websites or, I don't know, people who need categorized music do that.
Yeah, it's true. I think a lot of times, like, especially when you're working with labels, and especially in electronic music, there's so many different genres sometimes that you kind of have to find a genre to fit something in so that it can be classified.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess listening to the album, you can take what you want from it. Doesn't necessarily have to follow that it's ambient.
Yeah, it's ambient based, definitely. Like I mean, you can't play that in a club, but also why not? Like
Exactly.
we're deciding what we're gonna play at the club in the end. Like we're deciding the trends.
I like that you kind of gave a disclaimer last night to people that you were like, this is an ambient set.
Yeah, because I don't know, maybe I shouldn't have said that, but like I feel like some venues are very much, what's the word for that? Like, I don't know, in any language, kind of like resembles with like certain genres. I don't know, like if you're playing, yeah, exactly. So I don't know, like when people were here, I just like them to know what they can expect, because also when you search my name on the internet, what comes out is also can be confusing in a way that, oh, like she's a DJ, but then like the music that I was playing cannot bring you anywhere or like much places if you're only playing that in your DJ sets. So it was just like, hey, setting your expectations, you can take a seat, you know, like choose your drink accordingly, and then like set your mind, then you can actually get into it. Because there are also moments you just expect like, oh, like it's gonna come, like, oh, the beat is gonna drop now, and then like it's never happening. It's just like also tiring for the audience, I thought, but yeah.
Yeah, I had a funny experience once when like indeed it was a full-on ambient live set at 1 a.m. in the middle of a really packed club. But that was actually pretty nice because it kind of like filtered out everything, and afterwards, I don't know, everything felt a lot more peaceful. But indeed, nobody expected it really. But yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting experience. You were talking about the fact that you have upcoming projects, some music that you're going to release in the upcoming 2 years. So I was wondering then if you, when you finish an album, an EP, or whichever kind of form of music piece that you finish, is there already a part of you that is thinking about the next one and is thinking like, okay, in this one I took this direction, I had to leave out this direction because of choices that you decide to make. The next one is going to be like this one is going to be like that.
Yeah. I had that, but then I had this after I released the album from Music from Memory. Then I thought, oh, like I'm not making ambient for a while. It's just like I want to release some music that could get me more bookings in the clubs as well, because there's so many DJs. But then like DJ producers might get more bookings sometimes, at least in the Netherlands. And I thought, you know, I'm also going to release something from that area that I've been also making, not something that I'm going to start making from scratch, so that it could help my career, because I never think of that. I just like do it with my, like, I don't know, just do it.
Intuition,
I don't think of the marketing part or the money part or the business part. But yeah, in the end, like after I made all those music, then I found myself a few weeks ago just getting into, like I've listened to Anna Roxanne's album and then New Boards of Canada, and I'm like, oh dear God, like I'm so making ambient music again. It's just beautiful. But yeah, I mean, so in the end, I think both works, but like a little bit of direction is good, but limitation doesn't help me in my path.
I see. Yeah, it's funny you mentioned this, because I also sometimes have the feel that like in the Netherlands we miss sometimes a bit more live acts in the club, and of course I understand that there is technical and financial difficulties that come with it, at least obstacles. But I also wonder if then this is also a factor that maybe musicians just tend to make music very much intuitively, simply for the sake of making what they would like to make, without necessarily the intention of where it is exactly going to be performed at. So I wonder if this is something that you feel that people, that maybe there is a gap in this sense between why a live set is being prepared, why music is being made by someone, and how it can reach a certain event, a certain type of event, meaning here the club.
What's the question?
I think I was just
hear
sharing
you,
thoughts
but
indeed that like, if it is something that you've noticed that other people maybe like feel the same as you, that they struggle to.
I mean, I don't feel a struggle. Like it's, I think like, I don't know, the systems are not working perfectly in any area. So I just like, I do my best. I wish for the best. And sometimes I feel very hopeful and sometimes I feel very depressed about the whole situation going in the music scene. And like live sets, DJ sets, I don't know. I don't know. This is gonna be my answer.
I see. Yeah, we had some music from your album that I thought would be really nice to share. We had this one that is indeed a bit more up tempo part, let's say. Maybe we can have a listen, and you can maybe tell us more about the process and how it came to be.
Yeah, sure.
Of course.
aslında pek de güvenli olmayan şeyleri yapmış olmam. Bugün düşündüğümde güvenli olmayan şeyler. Yani belki onun için bazı anılar artık masal gibi geliyor. Böyle çocukluğun en güzel anıları, en çok eğlendiklerin, en tehlikeli olanlar, yaralandıkların falan. Bugün de biraz öyle. Bir de bu anılarda artık güzel gün batımları, gün doğumları ve göklerdeki sayısız yıldızları izlemek var.
So you just heard After Sun from Laura Deniz's album Sunshone. This is, as Catherine said, one of the more up-tempo tracks in the album. It kind of, at least when I'm listening to it, it feels like there's two sides. I think also the A side and the B side do differ kind of sonically, aesthetically. Yeah. But they all carry, obviously, big emotional quality, and I think yesterday when you were performing, I really felt the emotional side of the album and kind of how that also reflected in your performance. And when I'm listening, it really does feel like there's memory imbued in this album. And also with the titles and overall this kind of imagery that you used, I was wondering how you kind of express maybe certain feelings you're having while you're creating the album, both in the sound, but also when you're performing. Because I think when I hear electronic performances, usually it's more focused on the gear, maybe the more technical side. Maybe this is perhaps one of the first times where I really felt like I could see it in your face. And I did shed a few tears yesterday, I must say. So
yeah, the burden of being a Pisces, just like carrying so much emotions. I don't know. It's wait, what am I answering now? I get lost again. Ooh.
Kind of how like the role of memories and emotions translate to your music.
I mean, this is not something that I think before I make music. It just translates itself that way when I do it. But like I think like there's a reason that but like on purpose, I named the album as Sunshone because I just like wanted to manifest that in my life and just like sort of closing that melancholic chapter of my life and then hopefully opening a new one with this album. And it was just like also, I mean, melancholy is also a beautiful thing. It's not something to get rid of, but it's nice to balance it out with some joy. And the album was sort of manifesting that. And the B-side was supposed to be fast, not fast, but more less abstract. And that was also requested by the label kindly. Just like, hey, like explore, like try to explore things in that area and see what comes up. And then it just came up naturally.
What kind of differences do you see then in like from label to label, depending on which you release? What are the kind of differences in the way that they approach your music?
Well, I mean, I worked with 3-4 labels now, and one was just like I worked with the owner of the label on the record, so it was like whatever we did was fine for the record, like a label. And the second one was News Klar, and they just they liked my music and they asked me to do something and they were happy with it. It was also a film scoring, so it was not really like, it was just not meant to be a full like album, but it was first meant to be a film scoring, and then they turned that into a record. And the third one is Music from Memory, which happened this way, but like the next one that's going to come out on Hibern Discs is I just sent some music out on the same day to the Music from Memory and Hiverndisk, which are my one of the two favorite labels, and they both got back to me completely, like they chose different tracks, and like for Hiverndisk they asked me to make one new track to complete the EP. I made something, but in the end they're like, no, we're not going to use this, we're just going to pick another one from the main selection. So in the end I didn't make anything new for that label. So I think it's just I don't have many experiences with different labels, so I can't properly answer your question, but this was my experience.
Yeah, I find it really interesting indeed in how many different ways that there is. Do you give complete creative freedom, or is it more like a collaborative piece that the label is intervening, or if indeed they ask you to maybe either correct something or like add something? And I think that's pretty interesting how that can come about, and all the different ways that there is.
It's like Music from Memory never corrected anything, so I would like to make that clear.
No, of course,
so they were just like suggesting something, and it worked out, and they were also very welcoming. But I also heard many labels from other friends that like they were asking them to do like you have to use a guitar, and then he's like, I'm not even a guitarist anymore, like it's just I don't like it. He's like, but then in the end it's such a good label that he ended up using guitars for the album. Stuff like that can happen.
Exactly. With different visions can align. Nice, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for the lovely questions.
We're really happy to be here right now in Istanbul, and also like to still have you come along with us on this trip.
I'm so happy to be here. Like it's so nice. I'm so used to seeing both of you in Rotterdam, and now we're in Istanbul in Frankhan. It's very nice to be here. So shout out to Operator Radio and Frankhan, and
exactly.
And Selectist, Frankhan Selectist. Yes, sorry.
Okay, we're now gonna, I guess, ease down into the second part. I'd like to play something that we selected. This is called The Blue of Distance.
So the song you're hearing is called The Blue of Distance from Elori Saxel. She's an American musician, producer, composer, and yeah, it's just a song I really enjoy, so I thought I'd play it. And yeah, I selected it for that reason. Speaking of selectors, we have good transition.
Very good.
We have a prominent selector here, Ece Özel, Istanbul-based DJ who, correct me if I'm wrong, but you've been DJing for almost 17 years?
17 years,
Yeah.
yes. I slow down a bit.
Yeah.
I don't play as often I used to. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's how it goes once you're...
Yeah. Also, I think it's a bit of a choice. I mean, you can
yeah.
keep playing till you're, I don't know, in your 60s or whatever. But yeah, I chose to slow down a little bit.
Of course, also, I guess DJing can take a toll on the body, especially just working in nightlife in general. And I know you also are a painter as well.
I studied painting
it's
all my education life, but I stopped painting for 10 years. I didn't paint a single line, and then I started again in 2020. I just had my solo exhibition last year.
Oh, nice.
My first exhibition.
Where was it?
It is a gallery in Istanbul, Ambidexter.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, did it maybe coincide a bit with also you slowing down with DJing, or are they two things where you kind of...
Well, it was a choice at first, then it wasn't a choice, because when you decide to move on from something, your energy moves on as well. And I literally had 0 bookings all of a sudden. I was like, oh no, I didn't mean that, not that fast, but yeah, it happens.
I see.
Yeah.
Maybe going back a bit, I'm curious, because when you started DJing in Istanbul, I can imagine the scene was quite different.
Yeah, it was different, I think. I mean, there were better things also. It wasn't paradise.
Yeah.
But yeah, like there were more clubs. Things were a little bit easier maybe, but yeah, not anymore.
Yeah, I think things changed, and of course Istanbul has always been kind of in a consistent turmoil, but
yeah, Istanbul is always vibrant, but I think the focus changes in certain times, so yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I guess people's priorities can shift a bit.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering also, when you started out, how was it being... Because I feel like, of course, Dana's also mentioned like male-dominated fields. Initially, I feel like there was...
To be honest, when I first started, I didn't realize it was I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was a male-dominant world, or I didn't know what male-dominant was. Like, I was just hanging, and I was just doing whatever comes up. And then, to be honest, the more I get into it, the more I learned about stuff. And also, like, the scene in Europe was maybe more informed about this stuff. Also, the scene in Istanbul was it was very vibrant, but it was small. So there was lots of women, I mean, I didn't have to think about it until I started to play outside and stuff.
Yeah, I think sometimes these things, like, you put a language to it, and then you realize that it exists.
Also, like, of course, over the years, like, DJing become really popular, because when I started DJing, it wasn't a popular job. So so scene changed, because DJing became popular, clubs became popular, electronic music became more popular, and there was more money involved in electronic music than 15 years ago. So yeah.
Yeah, as you were saying, like, what comes with the popularity of it as a practice and an activity, and also something that can be a career, that it is widely different to wanting to start and knowing exactly, like, okay, maybe those are the things that are expected. Those are people who have been doing it before me. Like, those are possible role models. Like, you already have an idea that is formed about it, and what could be like the finality of it, instead of just approaching it in a very
I really liked music. I didn't know if this could be a job. I didn't know if I could pay my rent from DJing. I really had no idea, and it was much better back then. And afterwards, you become more you start to play more, you become more professional, and then there's more pressure. Yeah.
Yeah, that exactly makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah, yeah. And when is the first time then that you went abroad then for a gig?
2013 or 15, I don't remember.
Mhm.
It was Switzerland, Zurich.
Okay, yeah. I
Yeah,
see.
because I used to be a resident at this club called Mini Music Hall, like in those years, yeah. And there was a big connection from another club called Cabaret in Zurich with Mini Music Hall. So they were coming, we were going. So that was the first time someone invited me to play abroad.
Yeah, I see. And how was it then to experience suddenly, different venues, different types of organizing?
It was fun, but the first thing I realized was because Turkish people are a bit shy,
Mm-hmm.
they don't start dancing. It changed a lot, by the way. It's not like that anymore, but they don't start dancing unless someone's dancing. So when the first thing I noticed when I went abroad, that people just dance, like, you know,
Okay.
they don't have to see someone dance to dance. So it was pretty. I mean, yeah, it was fun to see.
Yeah, that people actually kind of from the get-go start enjoying your set and
Yeah.
maybe let loose. I think also for Turkey, this is based on my observation that people maybe don't have like the kind of rule book of clubbing, and in a lot of countries like the Netherlands or like Germany, you have this kind of like ethics of clubbing where these are the kind of code of conduct that you have, and in Turkey it's a bit more, I guess, kind of organic as well.
It's a bit a gray area.
Yeah.
I mean, because the infrastructure isn't there, so
Exactly.
it's hard. I mean, it's already so hard to put a party together. So you have different priorities. It's this like these things might depend on the promoter. If the promoter is more experienced, I mean, it works completely different than Europe. Yes, it has its own language and everything is different.
Did you feel like a sense of, I guess, difference when you were performing abroad versus Turkey? Also maybe a bit emotionally, because I think here it has obviously a bit more of a weight, I think. Maybe that's just me putting...
Yeah, I mean, well, of course there are some venues in Europe, it's like the sound-wise they're great, that's something else. But sometimes it doesn't make any difference. It's a club with people who wants to dance. So.
Exactly.
But sound-wise, there's some places that makes a really big difference, but mostly
like sound
no.
system, you mean?
Sound system.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I also am curious about your approach to selecting music. I think for your sets, it doesn't necessarily prescribe to one genre.
No.
It traverses a lot of different sounds and genres as well.
It started with the anxiety. So it's a very anxious way of selecting music. I think when I first started, I was very anxious and I didn't know what I was doing, and I was picking up so many different things from so many different places. It came a little bit with anxiety, then I got used to it. Then I make it kind of a way of doing it. But but also sometimes I play proper techno, which I mostly only played in Istanbul. People, I mean, they don't book me to Europe for that because they don't know.
Yeah, fair.
But here I sometimes do play proper techno. It's more relaxed, even the sound is more harsher because it's one that is still maybe more eclectic techno than other people, but it's still a certain more it's one direction, like it's
just based on, I guess, expectations from bookers.
Yeah.
If you were to say, like, you were drawn to kind of something sonically, is there something a thread that maybe connects the music that you're interested in, or it just kind of goes in every direction?
It depends on the people, it depends on the night, it depends on my mood. Yeah. It's always, I mean, even though I plan, I'm probably gonna play something completely different. it never works as planned. So yeah.
Yeah, I did find it indeed like very like inspiring and also very authentic that in the end you kind of have to just be sure about your music and your set before trying to convince others about it anyway.
Yeah.
Before trying to convince the dance floor. So
Actually, first you have to convince yourself.
yeah.
First you convince yourself, you can convince anyone, I guess. Yeah.
Is it also maybe a way to deal then with anxiety? Was it for you, like having
I
this
mean, I'm not a
realization?
very anxious person in general, but I mean,
you're really chill.
of course, when you first start to play, you just find yourself in front of people. You have to play your music, and you have to keep those people there to dance. It's kind of a, I mean, when you first starting doing it, it's a kind of a anxious situation.
Yeah.
But you get
I see.
used to it in time.
Yeah.
I think DJing is time, like, yeah.
Also, before receiving you, of course, for this Sunflowers Radio episode, we looked up already existing interviews and that were available online.
Yeah.
And I do remember a moment in which you were sharing that you wanted to do something a bit more than DJing, and then you also went into organizing events and also
Yes, I
releasing
stopped that as well.
on a label.
Also the label. We put the label Self-Induced Coma. And yeah, I mean, yeah, it's hard to run a label.
Definitely, yeah.
It is. And the
Very
first thing, I
time-consuming.
lost my motivation. I think it's the most important thing. It's more important than money. Also, the production cost has become like really expensive after the pandemic. And I
Yeah.
live here. All the production is in Europe. Like it became really difficult to handle.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, and there's also the choice, right? That a lot of labels decide then to go fully digital, but
Yeah,
I think for
also-
also a lot, like it is also maybe a hard pinch that
Yeah.
they still want to release physically, but
Yes, like only
Yeah.
digital it doesn't always make sense. It
Yeah.
makes sense at some points, of course, but I mean, also it doesn't make sense for the artist. Like it's not fair for the artist. Like it's not fair for us because you spend that much time and then nobody really. It doesn't reach to enough people.
I see, yeah. And while you were running the label, what were kind of factors in deciding who you were releasing and
I had a
music?
partner. Actually, I can't say we completely stopped, but we haven't done anything
Yeah.
for the last 3 years. I have a partner who moved with the label. We focused mostly with electronic artists from Turkey.
Yeah.
And whether it's dance or whether it's experimental. And then we had a couple of fundraising, very big compilations. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the fundraising compilations as well, and actually we found a song that was released on the label.
Okay.
It's from Sunfear.
Yeah.
It's called Jezebel.
Yes.
And we wanted to play it.
Is it from the compilation or is it from?
It's
her?
not from the compilation.
It's from her album.
It's from her album
it's the
Electra.
Tape. It's from the tape. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So we wanted to play that.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is Jezebel from Sunfear and released on Mustesna Records. Okay, lovely. So there was a little sneak peek into a release from Mustesna Records, and this was Jezebel by Sunfear. I was just saying off mic that overall all the releases, like I remember looking through them for like quite a few years and always, always coming back to it in a reason, especially the first one that I thought was really interesting. So I absolutely recommend. And then we also wanted to ask you about the event series that you organized.
Yeah. I started 2015, something like that. I think it's 2015. Özel zevkler, it roughly translates to special interests.
Yeah, lovely name. Yeah.
I started a mini music hall. It was mostly a live band, like a punk band or an indie band, literally, and then DJ. And then I moved to Arkoda. It was always a live act and DJ, or a back-to-back with someone. It's supposed to mean something.
Yeah.
But then I stopped. These two. Because I got tired.
Yeah.
From nightlife in general, and it's I didn't want to depend on nightlife to survive.
Yeah, I think it's like also very interesting conversation to have, because it is also sometimes things that I talk about with people around me, whether you are working in nightlife or performing at night, etc. That does take a toll on you, and that there is maybe always this like surrounding, like, oh, but what is coming up afterwards?
Yeah.
Do I want to keep doing this? And I think that is like pretty interesting, because maybe to some people it feels
it's not easy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to stop doing your job that you've been doing for so many years and move on to something else. It's really hard financially. It's hard. It's emotionally, like it's difficult. I had so many burnouts.
Also, right? Yeah.
I mean, I stopped counting, but it's nice to be able to choose your gigs, which I don't think I can still. I mean, I'm not 100% confident about that still, but I'm getting there.
Yeah, I think at a certain point you have to look at yourself and think, oh, what's giving me joy and what's maybe depleting my energy.
Yeah, I always had other jobs. I used to be a stylist, costume designer for many years. I did it together with DJing. Then I started play a lot, and I didn't have to stop, but it kind of faded away. I don't do it that often anymore. So I always had something next to music, but the moment I was only playing and only chasing gigs, it kind of became a little bit toxic, to be honest. And now I'm back to my roots, because painting is, because when you're a painter or doing sculptures, if you're doing something with your hands, you're going to have to go back to it no matter what, or you're going to die sad. That's
and it's also maybe a more personal, solitary act where, of course, you still depend on a scene, but you are not always confronted with maybe certain shortcomings of the scene or how it changes.
But people forget you just instantly. So.
And when you're as a painter, you mean, or
no, like when you stop DJing that often.
Oh, I see. Yeah, like your name doesn't come up on lineups.
It's a second. It takes a second.
Yeah.
To people forget you, but it's
to
fine.
stay relevant in these times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess the Instagram game as well. That
which I'm not very good at.
Yeah. No, but it is indeed, I think, important to just also keep it healthy and all. Yeah. But we're very lucky to still have you tomorrow for the continuation of our program. If you're in Istanbul, please feel free to come by Frankhan, by Selectist.
Yeah.
And
I'm
today
gonna do the closing at 4.
Yeah, exactly, Saturday. And today we're continuing with the radio broadcast. I'm really pleased with the program that we have. I think it's going to be really exciting. We are continuing with Ves, followed by Anadol, Volkan, Garan, and finally Osman Bass. And talking about Anadolu, we have here a little track to finish it off and close off with this Sunflowers Radio episode. It was a pleasure to have you, Ece.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. And also thank you to Lala Dennis, of course. Yeah, let's hit it.